everyone, and welcome back to Red String of Fate. So I know it's been a while since I posted any more of the 100 Baby Challenge, and so I really should get on that. But I wanted to do more of this because I just really like it, and nothing has actually happened yet that has steered us towards any guy. Last episode was just kind of like the setup, and we haven't actually been alone with any of these guys yet, so I want to play more and kind of see what happens. So, hurriedly sweeping my items into my bag, I rush over to him where he's standing by the table, waiting for me. So, we are about to walk somewhere with Luke. I'm not exactly sure where, but we're walking with him. I fall into step beside him and we walk out of the room together. No, I still have something else to do first. What about you? Yeah, I don't have any classes for the evening, so I'll just head home now. So you live off campus? Are you from around here? No, I just share a rented apartment with a friend nearby. Right. I live in the dorms instead to save money. It probably wasn't a good idea, to be honest. With all the people around all day, it's much harder to ignore all the strings floating everywhere. I'll probably end up with migraines every week. Still, this is the most affordable choice. Instead of pretending he doesn't know what I'm referring to my surprise, Luke simply frowns without a word. I open my mouth to ask him the questions burning in my mind, but he beats me to speaking first, his voice a soft murmur. Try keeping your eyes on the ground when you're walking past busy areas on campus. You probably already know that, but I find that it helps. My footsteps slow for a second in my shock at Luke's open admission to the secret we share. Jesus Christ, so many S sounds. He continues to walk on ahead and I stumble after him, excitement bubbling up in my chest. So you admit it, you can see the strings after all. How much do you know about them? Why are we the only ones who seem to be able to see the strings? Why can't we see our own or other seers' strings? The questions spill out of my mouth one by one, but Luke keeps his gaze firmly ahead without a hint of acknowledgement that he heard me. Finally, the frustration at his uncooperative attitude explodes out of me in an angry yell. Hey, did you hear what I asked? Asked? Did you hear what I asked? You are the first person I've met who's like me, you know. Do you know how difficult it's been all these years, unable to talk to anyone about what I can see, unable to ask anyone what is going on? The least you can do is answer me and tell me what you know. Luke also stops walking and he turns to look at me fully. I also only just noticed this anime thing that they have on their faces. There's a strange pain in his blazing eyes that almost makes me stumble a step back. Why do you even want to know? If you're smart, you'll learn to just ignore their presence and pretend you can see nothing out of the ordinary. Trust me, it's better that way. What do you mean by that? I don't believe that. If we can see red strings of fate, there must be a reason. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Luke simply shakes his head and pushes the exit doors open, walking away from me without another glance backwards. Seriously, dude? He's swallowed up by the crowd in an instant, but the memory of the burning emotion in his eyes refuses to leave my mind for a long, long time after we part. Jeez. So he's probably going to be like the kind of bad boy mean type. Like the loner who doesn't really mesh well with other people. I keep my eyes firmly on the screen of my laptop in front of me, refusing to give in to the urge to peek at Luke, who's sitting on the opposite side of the table. The silence between us drags on, and the tension is so thick that it could be cut with a knife. Thick. Where in the world is Aaron? He's late. I didn't peg a straight A nerd like him for someone who would be late to a project meeting. How dare he leave me alone with Luke like this? I haven't spoken to Luke again since the last time we met at the library for a group meeting, and it's clear the conversation is still at the front of our minds from the way we are avoiding each other's eyes like the plague. I swallow, start a new document on my laptop, and begin typing away at random just to appear preoccupied. Slowly, my random typing turns into something more meaningful. I find myself opening the document containing my travel plans, and I begin adding more notes to my file. I can't wait until I can stop this planning and just hop on a plane and travel to Asia to look for him. For the 1000th time, I find myself wondering what he looks like, what my soulmate looks like, and what country he's in. For a second I wondered who she was talking about. He must be far away if my string is so faint that it's practically invisible to my eyes, right? I'm sorry I'm late. I'm here now. Have you been waiting for long? Hey, Aaron. Oh, hey, Aaron. Jerking out of my thoughts, I slam my laptop shut reflexively and look up to see a panting Aaron sliding into a chair at the table. Aaron, there you are. You're almost half an hour late. Where have you been? I'm so sorry. I forgot who was speaking for a second. But wait, listen. First, I have something very important to tell you. I narrow my eyes at him as he practically vibrates in his seat from excitement and pulls something out of his pocket to show me. We got invited to Irene's birthday party this weekend. Can you believe that? Who? Aaron looks positively horrified at my question. That must be the girl he was talking to in the last episode. The junior! Fashion major! Beautiful strawberry blonde hair and the clearest sea blue eyes. She's like one of the most popular girls here. Oh. Her. Yes, her. She's inviting us to a party she's holding next weekend. All three of us. Unable to share his enthusiasm, I frown in confusion. Why? How do you even know her in the first place? Did you know she's in the same generals class as us? I didn't either, but last week she came up to me asking for help for the essay she was stuck on. We exchanged numbers and we've been texting sometimes. So I guess if we were with him, there'd be like a whole plot line where we were kind of jealous. She ended up sending me an invite to the party as a show of gratitude for all my help. Aaron beams, positively glowing from this development of events. Before I can reply, Aaron continues, leaning back in his chair with a proud expression. I know. You don't have to thank me. We're going to have a great time this weekend. We? Who says we're going? Well, at least I'm assuming Luke shares my view and doesn't really see the appeal of this party. Aaron and I both look over to Luke expectantly, and he merely gives a small shrug. I'm not into parties in general. There we go. You can go by yourself, Aaron. At that, Aaron almost falls out of his chair, and his lips slip into a pout. No! Val, you can't. I'll be the pathetic loser arriving at a party all alone while everyone there comes with friends or with their significant other. You can't leave me like that. I can hardly bite back a smile at Aaron's dramatic, horrified speech. You'll live. Aaron's eyes widen comically, and he clasps his hands together. I mean, they're already anime characters. They already have pretty big eyes. No, you can't do that to me. It's going to be my first party, you know. Don't ruin it for me, please. I'm not close enough with anyone else but the two of you to invite them to a party like this out of the blue. Please, Val, I'm begging you. This is my one and only chance. Aaron gives me his best attempt at puppy dog eyes, and I have to admit, for a second I almost cave in instantly. We already know that she's going to end up going to the party, because this is a video game, and shit like that always happens. Luke? I don't go to parties. I'll just stay in and work on the project a bit more. He hesitates before continuing, somewhat reluctantly. You're welcome to join me if you like. We probably have to catch up to Aaron's progress anyway. Ooh, maybe Luke can see our string and see it connects to him somehow. Or maybe he sees that it connects to Aaron. Luke, bro, you can't do that to me. You're supposed to have my back as my bro. You're supposed to be my wingman, my second in command, the cleric to my warrior and the support to my carry. I can't help but laugh at that, shaking my head at Aaron. Luke just looks baffled by his passionate declaration, which only heightens my amusement. Aaron really is such a nerd. Valerie, please, you're my last hope. Ooh, should I go with Aaron or Luke? Okay, this must be the cutoff where we decide which guy we want to go with. Now, I do want to go to the party, but because we are going after Luke first, I'm gonna work with Luke. I tried to imagine going to a noisy party packed with drunk people and filled with red strings floating everywhere, and I can barely hold back a grimace. The idea doesn't sound pleasant at all. Maybe I'll try to ask my bosses to let me cover an extra shift or two on the weekends instead. If they don't have work for me, perhaps I can join Luke instead. I make a face playfully at Aaron before shaking my head with an apologetic smile. Hang on, I just want to make sure I did save. Okay. I'm sorry, maybe I should work with Luke on the project this weekend instead. He's right, we are behind on progress. I need to catch up if I want to pull my weight. The project is important after all. I'll check my schedule later to see if I'm free. Is that alright with you, Luke? Luke's head jerks upwards, and he meets my eyes with a clear expression of surprise, but he doesn't protest or speak up to revoke his offer. Did he really expect me to go with Aaron to the party? Next to him, Aaron's head falls onto the table with a thunk, and he groans in misery. I can only smile at the top of his head in amusement and apology. You'll be fine, Aaron. I'm sure lots of people are going alone too. I really doubt it. Oh well, it's not the end of the world, I suppose. Aaron lets out another long sigh before straightening, still pouting. I suppose we should get back to the project. We've wasted enough time. I'm sorry about that. Right, we should. I need to leave at 5 for work. Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know you have work right after this. Yes, of course. Let's get back on track. His expression grows solemn and he turns on his laptop. We should probably pick up where we left off last time and discuss the division of labour first. With that, the project meeting officially begins, but I can't help but notice Luke continuously sneaking peeks at me. What does Luke want with me? Who is he even? Just what exactly does he know? Ooh, interesting. Oh, that's cute. Oh my god, so's that. Oh, and it has a string. I throw myself onto my bed, landing on my stomach. My eyes almost immediately start to close from pure exhaustion, but I give my head a hard shake, trying to clear my drowsiness. One thing I think would be good for this game is knowing the time frame, because a lot of the time it's in the middle of a scene and we're talking to someone, then it just ends and picks up in another scene, and it kind of says like, at our next meeting or whatever, but you don't really know how much time has passed, so that would just be good to have. No time to rest. I have to get ready for my shift at the restaurant. With a low groan and the willpower of Atlas, I manage to drag myself out of the comfortable warmth of my bed. I turn to grab my belongings, and the flashing of my phone screen catches my attention. It's a text from a co-worker at the restaurant. Are you going to go with the rest of us to visit the boss's baby tomorrow? Huh? I fire a quick text back, asking what she means, and my phone buzzes in my hand a few seconds later with a reply. Did you forget? Boss gave birth yesterday, remember? That's why the restaurant is closed today to celebrate. Oh, right. The vague memory of someone texting me about a newborn baby surfaces in my mind. It had happened so late last night that I barely glanced at the text before turning in my bed and falling back asleep. My brows furrow. I forgot the restaurant won't be closed today, even though the owner isn't required to be here during business hours anyway. Stupid Chinese tradition. I guess this means I'm free for the rest of the day. Damn, I wanted to do some extra shifts today for more money. Torn between relief and disappointment, I once again collapsed on my bed. This time I let sleep pull me under. Her light here, I think it's a light, I'm not sure, but this is really low hanging. If she sits up in bed, she'd like bang her head on it. The persistent, annoying buzzing sound slowly tears me from my dreams, and I moan groggily, my hand searching for the evil device in question. Prying open one eye, I notice with a start that Aaron is calling me. What does he want? I let out a loud yawn before answering the call, grumbling a greeting. The background noise from his end is so deafening that I instantly pull my phone away from my ear, cringing. What the hell? Aaron? Valerie! Finally! Oh, he's drunk. Aaron, I can barely hear you. Why is it so noisy? Where in the world are you? Irene's party, remember? That voice was 110% annoying before, now it's like 200%. I frown, trying to make sense of Aaron's slurred, strangely dragged out words. Aaron, are you drunk? Drunk? Never, I'm not drunk. He gives a loud hiccup, and I can only shake my head in amusement at the phone. Right, of course you aren't. Well, what are you calling me for? He pauses, seemingly needing a moment to recollect his thoughts. I was going to ask if you and Luke want to come. It's a great party. What kind of Tony the Tiger plagiarism? No, I'll pass. Why don't you ask Luke yourself? Shouldn't he be with you? Hey, Luke bro, sup? I can't really go any louder because his voice is shrill and high enough as it is, and it's the middle of the night. I flinch as Aaron suddenly raises his voice, shouting as though Luke can hear him through my phone. Jesus, Aaron, you're going to deafen me. Luke's not even here. Wait. If the party is today, that means I'm supposed to be meeting with Luke for the project today. I thought it was next weekend. A string of curses escape my mouth, and Aaron giggles like a delighted child. What does that word mean? You know. I can't talk now. I'll talk to you later. Hanging up quickly on Aaron, I immediately dial Luke's number. He answers after a few rings, and I start babbling in apology. I'm so sorry. I forgot our meeting is today. I swear I'm not usually this scatterbrained. I've just been so tired from all my shifts at work and... Valerie? He totally forgot it was happening. Yes, right. Hi, it's Valerie. I could have sworn I heard a light chuckle from his end of the phone. It's fine. Breathe. I just realised the protagonist of this game is called Valerie, and the antagonist in Tales from the Borderlands is called Valerie, and we're playing that on the channel right now. Are you still there at the library? I'll come as soon as possible. Cradling the phone in the crook of my neck, I slide off the bed and start sweeping my laptop and notebook into my bag. Oh. No, I'm not at the library anymore. I waited for a bit, but when you didn't show, I thought you went to the party with Aaron after all and forgot to let me know. I just stopped crying in the bathroom. A fresh wave of guilt hit me, and I sigh, apologising again. It's fine. I only cried for like half an hour. Do you still want to work on the project together? Yes, of course. Unless it's too much trouble for you to come back to campus, then we can just reschedule. I can hear his quiet breathing as he thinks for a long moment before replying. I'm going to be free for another hour or so. If you want, we can work on the project at my place, bow chicka bow wow. Otherwise, I'm afraid we'll have to reschedule. I'm sorry. I know this is inconvenient, but I'd really rather not make the trip back to campus because I would have to rush back home after 40 minutes anyway, since I have an important call scheduled. Oh, well in that case, I'll head to your place now. What's your address? Sorry, I have like a thing in my hair and it's distracting me. Okay, I got it. Luke thanks me and I scribble down the address he gives me before we end the call. It takes me a while, but I finally reach Luke's apartment. Luke is the one to answer and he waves me in. For a moment I can only stand there at the door, unsure what to say. Hi. He seems mildly amused by my awkward greeting. Hello. I'm really sorry about forgetting our meeting. He leans against the doorframe with one hand in his pocket, his lips twitching up into a smile. It's fine. I'm sorry for making you head all the way out here. Thank you for coming. He opens his mouth to say something and pauses as though trying to decide whether he should say it or not. Apparently he decides in the affirmative because he continues. I'm supposed to be having a video call with my grandma tonight, so I didn't want to be late. I'm sorry. Oh, that's his personality. He's like the kind of dark, brooding guy, but who's really a sweetheart. No, it's fine, really. It was my fault in the first place for forgetting and making you wait at the library for ages. Right. Well, we should probably get started then. We don't have much time. I nod in agreement and he starts leading me to his room. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a drink because my throat gets really dry reading all the time and... As we pass by the living room, I notice a boy around our age lounging on the couch with a book in hand. He glances up at us and he seems rather surprised when his gaze falls on me. Hey, Luke, is that your friend over there? Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Luke's footsteps halt and he nods. This is Valerie, one of my partners in a project. Valerie, this is Zeke, my roommate. Hi. I lift my hand in a small wave and Zeke gives me a friendly grin, but the curious look in his stare remains. I cock my head in confusion. Why is Zeke reacting to my presence here like this? I bet Zeke can see people's strings as well, and he sees the connection between Luke and Valerie. Well, I'll be in my room if you need me, Zeke. Sure, good luck with your project. I never want to do that voice again. I don't know what that was. Luke gestures toward the hallway, and I fall into pace behind him once again, trying to ignore Zeke's stare burning a hole in my back. Make yourself at home. I'll go get us some water. He makes his way out of the room, and I seize the opportunity to study his room. What's this thing? It's smaller and tidier than I had expected, and surprisingly lacking in books except for a row on the shelf near his bed. Curious, I shuffle closer and carefully pluck a book from its resting place, flipping it open. Oh my god. It's smut, I bet. I let out a loud exclamation of surprise at the same time Luke returns, and his gaze falls to the book in my hands. Look, he's sweating. Be careful with that. He scurries over, wresting the book gently from me, and I'm still so stunned that I make no move to stop him. Oh, that's a first edition version of Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice. Jesus. How much is that thing worth? He returns the book to its place with a clear degree of caution, his motions light and slow, before turning to face me. One hand flies to the back of his neck, and he seems a little uneasy. It was my grandpa's. He gave it to me as a birthday present. Speechless, I can only shake my head in awe. Wow. I try to peer around him at the rest of the books on the shelf, noting the worn condition they are all in. Are they all first edition books as well? Luke clears his throat in discomfort and gestures at the desk in the corner, a silent request for me to drop the topic. Swallowing the residue of my shock, I nod and follow him over to his desk, pulling out my laptop. I swear I am okay at reading when I'm just reading to myself, but reading out loud like this, especially, I'm not on camera, but especially being on a video like this where other people could watch and hear me, it makes my brain turn to mush. Right, so how much progress have you made for your part of the research? Not much, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. At my lack of reply, Luke turns to look at me, catching me still peeking curiously in the direction of his bookshelf out of the corner of my eye. I can only give him a sheepish smile in response. He shakes his head slowly, but I can tell he's trying to suppress a smile, his eyes gleaming with a hint of amusement. Sorry, I'll focus now. Tearing my eyes away from the magnetic book resting on the shelf, I attempt to concentrate on the work in front of me. It takes a while, but eventually I find myself absorbed in my task. Before long, we are working alongside each other in a peaceful silence. Occasionally, we'll throw out ideas for discussion or ask each other questions for clarification, and I'm amazed by how quickly we're making progress by helping each other out. At some point, we decide to take a break. Stretching to ease the soreness in my muscles, I look up with a hint of surprise to see Luke silently offering me a chocolate bar. Yes, please. Thank you. He drops the chocolate bar onto my palm, and I peel the wrapper off and take a small bite. I moan in appreciation at the delicious chocolate. Wow, this tastes wonderful. I love chocolate. He seems to eye his snacks with a hesitant look before making up his mind and pushing the remaining chocolate bars on the table towards me. You can have the rest. Marry him, immediately. Are you bribing me into not speaking about the first edition books I saw in your room today? It depends. Is it working? Possibly. Only if you give me an explanation as well, though. He looks vaguely uncomfortable again, his hand flying to the back of his neck. There really isn't anything to tell. My grandfather collected those books, and he gave them to me for my 18th birthday. He just gave away a whole priceless collection of classic literature. Your grandfather must be rich, or just an insanely generous person. He murdered him and stole the books. I don't know. I guess you can say he was very giving. I didn't miss Luke's use of past tense, or the sorrowful expression that fleets across his face. Mentally, I kick myself. Good job, Valerie. Way to go. I'm sorry for your loss. It was years ago. I'm fine. Despite his reassurance, there's still a hint of sadness in his dark eyes. They don't really look that dark. They're like a light, kind of violet colour. Clearly he was close to his grandfather. Hastily, I clear my throat and try to steer the subject to a safer area. So, I didn't expect a literature major to only have a handful of books in his room, even if they do cost more than 50 books put together. I keep my books in a separate room. Wait, you have a library in your apartment? The corner of his lips tug upwards into a half-smile, and to my relief, the sadness in his expression fades away. It's not really a library, just a messy room full of bookshelves. You see, my roommate is also in literature. You can imagine the amount of books we would have combined. We didn't have a choice but to save a room for the books. Impressive. Can I check that out later? Yes, of course. Just be careful. Otherwise, you might cause a landslide of books and be buried alive. His eyes twinkle in amusement, and I grin back at him. You better tackle me out of the way if that happens, or you'll be charged with murder. It wouldn't be my fault if you caused the accident yourself. Would you just stand by and watch me die? You expect me to dive into that endless pit of books and pull you out? I throw my head back in laughter after shooting him a mock wounded look. It's interesting how despite his usual quietness, he has a sharp wit and a sense of humour that never fails to amuse me when it makes an appearance. There's a lull in our conversation, and I return to snacking on chocolate, still grinning from our banter. My head snaps up when Luke breaks the silence first with a sudden question. Okay, I think I'm going to end this part here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to keep going with this scene, but I have a feeling if I do this episode, it will be like 40 minutes long, which isn't really a problem, but nobody really watches them anyway, so, you know, if nobody watches a 20-minute video, no one's going to watch a 40-minute one. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, if anyone is fucking watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. And I don't know if I said this already, but after we've done the Luke romance option, we will be going on to Aaron as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye everyone.